to this Walter Johnson thing, I got to go. And he said, yeah, I want to go to that too. And he actually started walking toward his car like he was going to come here. And then his people said, no, you're an hour late for your next meeting already, you can't do it. And they had to drag him away. But the governor wanted to be here and said, give it the best. And he said, you know, Walter Johnson, he thought that Walter Johnson actually was around when his father was governor. Is that true? You were around when Jerry Brown's father was the governor. Is that right? You were a union leader then, okay. He denies it. So, I want to share with you, I want to take a moment of personal privilege. I am one of the many beneficiaries of the largesse of Walter Johnson. I was one of those folks when I was a young punk as opposed to being an older punk now, when he would sit down with me when I first got to California and sort of have lunch with me and spend time listening to me before talking at me, as we all know what he can do, and giving me life's lessons. Walter Johnson has planted so many seeds and allowed so many seeds to grow that for most of us in this room, in one way or another, in a very personal sense, right, he's helped us to advance in a personal way or in a professional way. He's helped more people on a personal basis advance than anybody that I know. And he always made me, like everybody else in this room, I think, feel special. And then one day I realized I was really, though I was special, no more special than the homeless guys that frequented the outside of the San Francisco Labor Council offices then. And Mary's not in the room, is she? He used to drive Mary nuts, the Secretary of the Labor Council, and Jeff would remember this. Because he said, always told those guys, you all know this, right? Come in for a cup of coffee anytime you want to come out. Come inside. Come in, the homeless guys, come in for a cup of coffee. And he wouldn't be around, because he'd be out in meetings before Mary would have to deal with serving coffee to all these homeless guys that would come in and say, Walter said I could come in and have some coffee. So half the time the staff of the Labor Council was serving coffee to the guys on the street. But he made them feel special too, and that was appropriate. Walter Johnson has been a role model for us in so many ways. And I just want to share one personal example, and that is in addition to the many ways that he helped me personally, he helped me get a lot of credit. In the first bargaining that we did over the potential BART strike, and my guess is it was probably 1998. Josie, you would know for sure what year that was. But the State Fed and the Bay Area Labor Councils came together to help settle the bargaining to avert a BART strike. And we actually did a tremendous job to help do that, and we avoided the BART strike that time. We got a good contract for the folks. I got a lot of credit for it, but the reality was I followed the model that Walter created about how you bring people together in a room, bang their heads a little bit, cajole them a little bit, and do some show diplomacy to get a settlement. It was Walter's strategy that worked, and Walter was in the room and guided us through that every step of the way. We used that same strategy, not just in the subsequent two BART negotiations to help avert strikes, but also in many other negotiations. Walter taught me, and many of us in this room, more than any other individual ever did, help us understand how to serve our members, but also how to negotiate on behalf of our members. And I just want to also share that there's nobody I know who took a principled position and did the right thing at the risk of being in political problem with his affiliates than Walter Johnson. There's nobody who would say, we've got to do this, whether it be about an early battle for gay rights, an early battle against the war, or an early battle, you name it. Walter Johnson was always there in a principled position. In spite of the fact that he would catch hell from his affiliates on it, he always said, I'm going to stand for the right thing. It was about bringing together the fight for justice that the labor movement should be, and mostly intended to be, whether it be social justice or economic equity. Walter Johnson has always been the leader in terms of making the labor movement bigger than many of us thought it should be, bigger than itself, big as though what it really must be. It's always been Walter Johnson who's pushed the envelope, made the balloon bigger on behalf of us. So I look forward to more. I want to say one other thing, and that is, and I've said this so many times on a personal basis, I'm privileged to be able to say it publicly. I've always looked for the opportunity to say it publicly. But Walter Johnson, and I think all of us agree on this, if there are only 2 or 3 people in our lives who we are both have gratitude for what they've done for us, but also would say this, that if I had to choose somebody whose hands I can put my life into, and that is if somebody held their gun, crudely speaking, to Walter's head to say, I'm going to take your life unless you take that person's life. He would take his life before he would take my life, before he would allow my life to be taken. And I would say that for every single person in this room. There is nobody that has greater generosity of heart and spirit than Walter Johnson. So much so that he would be one of those few 2 or 3 people I've ever met who I know I can entrust my life to, and he would be there. So he brings together this one-on-one, like when he was an appliance salesman at Macy's and became a union representative. He's sort of the master union representative, right? He's always represented all of us as a union representative, but he's also been the organizer and the leader for growing the labor movement and building the labor movement the way it should be. He's a model that we continue to follow. We are so grateful that he has served us in our movement so well. We thank you, Walter, for the contributions that you've made to us personally and us as a union movement. Thank you, Walter.